In the heart of a prosperous village, nestled between rolling hills and golden savannas, stood the grand estate of the Jonga family. They were powerful, wealthy beyond measure, and beloved by the villagers for their generosity. Every harvest, the Jongas would host feasts under the towering baobab tree that grew in the center of their courtyard, a tree so ancient it was said to hold the spirits of their ancestors. But there was something strange about the Jonga estate. For all their wealth and influence, no one outside the family had ever set foot inside their mansion. The doors were always locked, and the windows, though beautifully adorned, were veiled with heavy curtains. It was whispered that the Jongas carried a secret, one that made even their wealth feel like a curse. One day, a wandering storyteller named Amadi arrived in the village. He was young, clever, and known for uncovering the truths hidden in riddles and tales. Intrigued by the mysterious Jonga family, he decided to stay and observe. During the harvest feast, Amadi was invited as an honored guest. As he sat under the baobab tree, eating roasted yams and drinking palm wine, he noticed something peculiar. The Jongas avoided the tree's shadow, stepping carefully around it as if it were alive. Why do they fear the tree that gives them shade? Amadi asked an old woman seated beside him. Her eyes darted toward the family, and she whispered, "They say the tree knows. It remembers." Amadi's curiosity burned like a wildfire. That night, while the village slept, he crept into the Jonga estate, slipping through a crack in the high stone wall. The baobab loomed in the moonlight, its gnarled branches reaching like ancient arms. As he approached, he heard whispers, not from the mansion, but from the tree itself. The voices were faint and layered, as though 100 souls were speaking at once. "Amadi," the voices called, soft yet urgent. "The truth lies below." Before he could question his sanity, the ground beneath the baobab opened, revealing a staircase carved into the earth. Amadi hesitated, then descended, his lantern casting flickering shadows on the earthen walls. Amadi turned to see the Jonga patriarch, Kofi, descending the stairs with a torch in hand. His face was grim, but there was no anger, only sorrow. "You see," Kofi said, gesturing to the statues, "our wealth comes at a price. The tree demands souls, and in return, it gives us prosperity. If we refuse, it takes one of us instead." Amadi stepped back, his mind racing. "You sacrifice your own people for gold and power." "It is not a choice we made lightly," Kofi replied. "We are bound to this curse by our ancestors, who first struck the bargain." The whispers of the tree grew louder, more insistent. Amadi felt its pull, a strange force urging him to act. He gripped his lantern tightly and swung it at the base of the ancient baobab, setting it ablaze. The tree screamed, a sound that was not of this world. The fire roared, consuming its twisted branches and shaking the ground. The cavern trembled, and the statues began to crumble. Kofi fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "You have doomed us all," he said. But as the tree turned to ash, the whispers faded, and the villagers trapped in stone dissolved into the earth, their souls finally free. When Amadi emerged from the estate, the sun was rising, casting golden light on the now quiet courtyard. The Jonga mansion stood in ruins, its wealth and power reduced to nothing. The village mourned the loss of its benefactors but soon found that without the curse, their harvests were richer, their lives freer. As for Amadi, he left as quietly as he had come, his tale a warning to those who seek fortune at too great a cost. And under the pale moonlight, the charred remains of the baobab tree still stood, its shadow gone but its memory etched into the soil forever.